So my wife, I've got my album collection downstairs, and thank you for sending me all the records there a few months back. That was a great treat.
No problem.
I really appreciated that. But every now and again, I throw Dog City on, and she always says, "Who is this?" I say, "This is Matt." She said, "But it doesn't sound like Matt." I said, "No, this is the album he did during COVID." I said, "This is the weird album." That's what I keep calling it. Tell me about that record. I'm curious. Like, was that just you and a computer by the fireplace?
It was even worse than that. It was, or better than that in some ways, I guess. It was during the first lockdown, like right away into it. I think I was in a state of shock, and I was taking Ruby, our dog, to the dog park every day, and just had this sort of like new feeling of anxiety that I think all of us had during something as large as a global pandemic. And I just had this like lightning bolt idea to do a record through the eyes of a dog, because I think I wanted to do that because I didn't want to be my own mind anymore. So I was just like super inspired. Like I wrote all the songs except for the covers in 3 weeks, just all of them. And, it's all, even, towards the day before I mixed, I wrote a song kind of thing. Like it was all really, it just poured out of me. And since then I haven't barely written any songs, in 2 years. It was just sort of like, I'm just waiting for that kind of inspiration to come back. But it was, I don't know. So because I wasn't writing about me, I could write through the eyes of Ruby, or whatever dog I was seeing at the park, and how they would react together, like little weird humans. And I just was going to the park every day, and just like, I think I kind of lost my mind a bit. And everybody was cooped up in the house. So Sophie and Ozzy were in the house, and me, Christine, obviously, and we were just, we surprisingly got along fantastically for the whole time, except, all families have their blowouts or whatever, but it was, we did a great job. However, to try to record music, it was really next to impossible because somebody was always home. So I built this thing I call the Dudio. I just got a AK-47 case I got off of Amazon, and I cut the foam out of it, got new foam, and I put in like my computer and my converter and built-in microphone in. I put lights in it, and so I could close it up and take it around. So it was April, late April when I was doing it. Yeah, it was mid-April. So I would go up to the back garage, and I remember it was like 4 degrees most mornings. I was bundled up, and I set it up on stools in the garage. And
when this was when you were on Markham Street?
Yeah, Markham Street, and back in the garage there. Yeah, and the city was
uninsulated garage.
Yeah. So yeah. And I just started writing song after song, and then I just like, it was like this whole dog thing happened or whatever, and it happened. And I finished it all in 3 weeks, and then I was doing my Mantle Musics, my weekly show online, and I was playing some songs off it on there, and I let the people watching on YouTube decide. I was like, whoever writes first, what date they want me to release it, because I was going to mix it myself. And so they were like May 17th or whatever, and I was like, that's in 2 weeks. Like, I was like, oh my god, okay, but deal's a deal, and yeah, so it was nice. I had a deadline, which I need, and I just made a bunch of weird instrumentals and songs about being a dog. It was so enjoyable, and the day before I released it online, I wrote one of the last songs on the album, like right before I mixed it. And then before the next day, I was up all night on the dining room table at Markham mixing it. And then I put it out, didn't master it. I just put it online because I told everybody I'd do it. So I made it, I got it out there, and that was it. It just happened so quick. Like from beginning to end, it was 3 weeks. And then normally, as you know, you got to spend 2 years writing songs, and then another year kind of messing around trying to get it right, and then humming and hawing with 3 different people about mixes and who should master it, and then redos on the master, and you do that, and then it falls on the radar, and you're like, all right, back to whatever. So I
know, here we go, starting again 4 years later now.
Yeah, exactly. So it was the opposite.
That interesting that the business has changed. Have you adapted to that? I mean, you obviously did this one record like that, but have you adapted to at all to the concept of creation as you go and sort of exposing the audience to it, a la singles and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm totally down with that. I'm gonna try to just do. I like every aspect of doing it. Like I like the full album that you spend a year on. I like to do that, but I also like the idea of something that's maybe a little off the beaten track or something that I just need to get out. Doing that as well. And luckily, my manager Louis he's good with that. He if I have any releasable music, he's pumped to help get it out, as long as it's good. If it was, that's the thing with Dog City, I didn't tell anybody, so my management and everybody was like, thanks for telling us. It was just, I told them it was just something I had to do, and they totally got it. You know what I mean? And Sonic got behind it, and we printed it on vinyl and distributed. And
was there any remastering done for the vinyl, or was it just pressed straight the way that you had done it for that?
Noah Mintz mastered it, and he made it so much better. He definitely polished that turd. I mean, I really do like the original mix because it was just it was just me and whatever, and I always like it. But he definitely made it sound nice. You can more clarity and just bigness and everything. So I just for the release, I wanted it to sound good on vinyl and still be pretty loud and everything. So, and it worked. That sounds way better.
It's a great sounding record, and Noah is awesome to work with. I find when I send him stuff, the more production that goes into the track, the closer it kind of sounds to whatever it is. But I find that if with him, give him something that's less produced, and you get it comes back sounding better.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If you don't sort of put too much into it, he's got the tools. It's the magic of mastering that so many people don't understand. They think it's just a loudness meter, but when you get into the dark arts of mastering with people like Noah and stuff, it's these people know what they're doing so much better than a plugin.
Yeah. It's like us trying to like pretend everybody's pretending they're scientists these days and know exactly what COVID is and stuff.
Exactly.
War experts and stuff. It's like musicians or even mixing dudes, thinking I could master. I know it's just this and that, but I truly believe it's not. And that's what with Dog City, I right before I sent it to him, I decided to take all my, just getting a little geek talk here, but my stereo bus compression.
Yeah, good.
I took it all off. I was like, you know what, it was like just super raw, I let him do it all. And when you send a mastering engineer like something that gives them, that's not squashed to the gills, they get more invested in the project because like, I have something to do now, you know. And a lot of mixes, like my last record we sent to Greg Calby to get mastered, who's one, he mastered like Graceland and Born to Run, and he was like, I can't do anything with this, it's just too loud, there's nothing for me to do, everything's, and it still sounded great, I liked it and everything, but it's just like there's one special like ingredient left that you can really utilize, and I think a lot of people kind of forget that. It's like these guys have ears for it, and B, their compressors are way better than all of ours put together. So I don't know.
I often think about it as a painter. You've got this painting that you want to cover in varnish now, but you're not a professional varnisher. You can take a can of varnish and put it on and kind of compare it's varnished. Yeah. But if you're going to send it to a professional varnisher, don't put shitty varnish on first, because they can't really take that off. And that's sort of the problem with so many people on their 2 mix is oh yes, I'll jam a compressor here and this and a spatial enhancer, and all of a sudden the mixers get the mastering folk like, what, there's nothing left I can do here, it's been ruined, it's just not the way it should be, it's not necessarily ruined, but
no, exactly.
Noah is fantastic. I can't say enough about Noah. I'll post a picture of Noah right now. This is Noah Mintz with his cute little new dog. Oh my.
Well, thank Allison. I'm glad she likes it. That makes me happy.
She smiles every time I put it on. Yeah, it's not that she doesn't for the other ones too. I think you sent me like your entire catalog. So it takes a while to get into somebody's entire catalog.
Well, Christine was like, Ken wants a couple LPs, and I was like, yeah, no problem. So I had it my share. I just might as well send them. But yeah, I don't. You don't have to listen.
Information, help me please. Give me California on the line. I left my baby on the western far horizon with a tear in her eye and a half-finished bottle of wine. I took a job out in New York City. I've been working like a dog on my rhythm and rhyme. But oh, how I long for a million margaritas and a beach bike ride. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. Yeah, here I sit like some old forgotten statue down on 7th Street, getting covered in snow. But oh, how I long to feel, see the warm sun shining bright at the golden hair. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. Let's take a little trip down to Encinitas. Your brother and Kitty are gonna come down to meet us. And oh, we'll have such a grand old time. A million margaritas and a beach bike ride. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. Let's buy a little place down in Laguna. We'll sit on the sand and watch the sun go down. Maybe I'll take you out dancing. Put a buck in the jukebox, we'll kiss and sway. I live in New York City, I'm still in California time. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. Information, help me please. Give me California on the line. I left my baby on the western far horizon with a tear in her eye and a half-finished bottle of wine. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. I live in New York City, but I'm still in California time. All right.
When you moved up to Toronto, you got a new band, and that's who recorded with you recently, or who plays live?
No, I still got my guys from out east, and Melissa Payne plays with us sometimes as well, and Kendall Carson, who plays with Alan Doyle, plays with Phil and sings with us sometimes too. But mostly we have like a that band from Burnside Would Love Band. We did it. And Burnside's like kind of it's an industrial park outside of Dartmouth where we rented like a rehearsal hall to do it in, kind of thing. And that was everybody was from Nova Scotia in that band pretty much, except Kendall. Right. And Asa Brocious is he's a great pedal steel player. He's lives in Nashville now, but he's from the Valley. So it was all pretty much Nova Scotia joint.
Very cool. And is that the band that are you what are you doing nowadays? I mean, I know we're still sort of getting back into things, but what's the plan now? You're going to take the band back out, or you're going to do some solo work, or work with some?
Kind of both. I'm doing a few like wineries around here in Niagara and stuff like that with Adam Baldwin. And if you don't know Adam Baldwin, you should check him out. He's a killer songwriter, and he's one of my best friends, if not my best friend. And he plays in my band as well, but he writes these insane songs. And he's a killer singer and performer anyways. and him and I do sort of a duo show sort of thing. We can sort of do for sit down. Sometimes we tour and do dates, and with even 4 of us from the band, depending on the venue. And we're still doing full rock and roll shows. We did some shows at Lee's Palace last month, and it's a full rock band kind of thing, and sort of our traditional sort of rock show. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of letting this next. I'm working on a new record now, letting this next record decide what my new full band show is going to be like. But yeah, we just try to be able to play at any venue, like whether it's solo shows all the way up to, you know, the full band. You know,
That's kind of what you need to do. That's kind of what you need to do, you know.
Yeah.
And most everybody I know, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So you and Christine, my sister, you bought a farm. You've got a herd of alpacas.
We have 5 alpacas. Yeah.
5 alpacas. You've got a farm. You're are you planning to do anything musical with the farm? You're gonna what's going on out there?
Yeah, man. I just finished my first session with my bud Ryan, who plays in our band as well. He's actually from St. John's as well. He just finished. We did 4 songs the last 4 days out in the barn. We spent all winter renovating the bottom floor to be a studio. So it was a little bit of a long winter, but it's almost done. And I moved a bunch of gear in enough to record. It sounded really great. Got a console in there and kind of a dead room and a nice live room. And I just need some more gear. I'm going to gradually sort of build it up, but it's already sounded really great in there. I'm just glad to get the first sort of session under the belt because it sounded great. So,
wow.
And I'm going to upstairs in the big barn, I'm going to start doing just small, like 30-person shows up there, maybe stream them, just because we just want to use the place because it's so great for performances up there. So we're just kind of easing into some stuff out here. We're going to eventually try to keep building on that, and it's such a nice spot to have people over and do events and things. So we're just sort of easing into that, and it's been really good for us to have something like that to build. So over the last bit, instead of, you know, we were talking about, you know, moving to other places without something like a barn, and we're just so glad we kind of have a exterior place that gave us something to sort of focus and work on over the last year, you know.
You know,
Yeah.
I remember the days of getting in the van and not knowing where I was going or really how long I was out for. It was just kind of see a world. And, you know, I did years of that, decades of it, in fact. And nowadays I think about things a little more, and it took some shifting of gears, but it feels good now. And it sounds like you guys are going through the same thing out there. So.
Yeah, it comes to a point where it's like, I mean, if I was doing that now, I'd feel really out of place and kind of lost. If I was, you know, 42-year-old man just in a, you know, just, you know, without any kind of anchor, which I really loved that about my life for a long time. It's just not having any kind of anchor or even a home. I really enjoyed that. It was conducive to songwriting and everything. But now, because I didn't have any of this for so long, it's been really enjoyable. Even when I go out, to know that I've got this here, you know, even if I'm gone for a weekend, I find myself missing it. And just to have a home base and the dog and the alpacas and you know, just the next thing we're working on, you know, it's funny. It's funny what happens when you sort of start slowing down a bit with like you said, you start thinking totally differently, and it's like, it's interesting what happens. All of a sudden you have 5 alpacas in a barn.
Well, you know, there's a lot worse places you could be than having 5 alpacas in a farm there, buddy.
Oh, I know. We were just shake our heads all the time. Like you have to get alpacas sheared once a year because their hair gets too long and knotted. So we were out in the barn. It was like chaos, and we were trying to like put all this alpacas like fiber in a garbage bag, and she stops and looks at me. She's like, "What the fuck are we doing right now? Like, what is happening? What's going on?" I was like, "I don't know, honey. I don't know what's going on.
We just gotta keep moving this.
Just keep putting the fiber in this bag right now." And it was just one of those moments where like everybody thinks we're crazy for being out here, and as I guess they don't know that we both are crazy anyway. So
exactly,
of course we came out here.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows is like, okay, I guess you don't know them.
Happy crazy, you know, something. I don't care what people talk to me about career suicide and being crazy. Happiness and finding your own way to do shit, man. That's the key to happiness. That's the key to life. I think.
And all the best artists have had people around them say they're committing career suicide. All the famous ones, you know, whether from Bowie to Da Vinci,
Yeah,
I mean, they all say they're committing career suicide.
yeah,
You know,
true. Everybody's gone out, done something different.
Means you're doing it right, I think. You know,
I have no idea. I just get through each day, and some days I get through a day, and at the end of the day, I look and somebody's made a comment on one of my videos or a song that brought them back to something, and I go, something I did today hit somebody. That's good, and that's, you know, that's success for me, right?
Somebody's life is huge. One person's life is massive, and if you can make that massive life good for a day, like that's a huge medicinal attribute. You know. And it's a miracle of work, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, listen, I look forward to having you and Christine up on the summer. Like I said, you know, it doesn't have to be a week. Hey, sis, you've been there the whole time?
Well, I've been out with the alpacas and trying to decide if I'm ever going to get around to doing vegetable garden.
She was on poop duty today.
So. And I just came in. And now I'm trying to, now I'm back in here with the dog.
Well, sis, we miss you guys so much. And we, you know, like I said, it doesn't have to be a weekend. We're here every day. Just get in the car and come up and we'll have a barbecue and a swim and a hang, and we'll drink too much red wine and we'll say stupid stuff and we'll wake up in the morning and, you know, we'll maybe do it again, or you guys will leave. I don't know, whatever.
That's like something to look forward to. I can tell you that.
For that, man.
All right, tell everyone there I love them. All right.
Okay, love you too, sis.
Bye.
All right.
Matt, thank you for spending time chatting with us. I'll cut this and I'll add some photos and stuff. You're going to send over a couple tunes on video at some point?
I will, for sure. Coming at
you. Ain't no pretty sounds out on the highway tonight. Just as buzzing in my ear. Not even an echo of the valley walls. You could almost hear a tear fall. I lost my love to silence. Lifted the needle one day. And anyone who knows true love knows it takes a soundtrack to make it so sway. Well, my radio's on, but the transmission's gone. It's just white noise out on the highway. We can blame it on the things that we never could change. Blame it on the satellites for being out of range. It don't matter now. Whoa, it all disappeared somehow. Just another station out of range. I've always known some kind of rhythm ever since the very start. Well, it's been beaten away in 4/4 time ever since my mother's own heart. Do you miss my country music or my late night rock and roll? Take my request on the N-word for your blues, rhythm, and soul. Well, my radio's on, but the transmission's gone. It's just white noise out on the highway. But we can blame it on the things that we never could change. Blame it on the satellites for being out of range. It don't matter now. Whoa, it all disappeared somehow. Just another station out of range. No more pretty sounds out on the highway. Whoa, and I'm lonely, and I'm lonely DJ. Whoa, she's spinning my mistakes in heavy rotation. Oh, it's the station at a range. We are just a station at a range. We are station at a range.